It's like oil and water, indoctrination and just seeing reality. They don't mix. Welcome back to the show. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic, Trump blasted CNN and Caitlin Collins for their fake news reporting on the Iran strike. Go ahead, roll the clip.
Please, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, fake news CNN? Oh, yeah, here we go. Wait till you hear this question.
Thank you, sir.
You should really say how great our soldiers and our warriors are.
I think everyone appreciates our soldiers and our warriors. I do have two questions for you, Mr. President. You just cited Israeli intelligence on these attacks. Earlier, you said U.S. intelligence was inconclusive. Are you relying on Israeli intelligence for your assessment of the impact of the strikes?
No, this is also Iran made the statement. And it's also, if you read the document that was given, that Pete can talk about if you'd like, the document said it could be very severe damage, but they didn't take that. They said it could be limited or it could be very severe. They really didn't know, other than to say it could be limited or it could be very, very severe. And you didn't choose to put that because it was very early after. Since then, we've collected additional intelligence. We've also spoken to people who have seen the site, and the site is obliterated. And we think everything nuclear is down there. They didn't take it out.
It's just nice to know we have a president who's willing to do that, call out the fake news BS right to their faces and let them know, like, yeah, I'm not going to let you do that crap, We're not living in this fake news world, See, the problem in America right now is the division is coming from people who just can't spot fake news. And then companies, these networks like CNN, MSNBC know that it's the only way we're going to stay alive is, until we completely pivot to actually giving Trump credit and, being pro-America. The only way they're going to stay alive is giving these people who can't spot fake news their fake news. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's where the division comes from. If we didn't have CNN, MSNBC, all these liberal media sources telling people how terrible everything is in America when everything's, pretty damn good right now, it's like, there would be very little division in America if all the news networks just reported the news as is, right? So it's like, people don't even know what to believe anymore. Certainly with AI, it's kind of muddying the waters, especially with, what's real and what's fake. But the people who are struggling to see reality and can't really see it and need to kind of have it put right in front of their face and explain to them, they're the people who are causing the division because they listen to CNN, MSNBC, and then they go spout off that crap. And then people like you and me who are like, whoa, this person knows absolutely nothing, and so where are they even getting their information? We're not going to bow down to their stupid bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the division comes. They are just so sold on what they've heard from CNN, and we know exactly whoa, no, that is complete bullshit. No, don't listen to that person. Those two things just can't mix. It's like oil and water, indoctrination and just seeing reality. They don't mix. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. Rosie O'Donnell admits she was just struggling when Trump got elected. Just go ahead and roll the clip.
During his first go-round, it was very difficult, and I got myself into some bad places. I was very, very depressed. I was overeating. I was over-drinking. I was so depressed, Chris. I can't, it hurt my heart that America believed the lies about him. And then it broke my heart to be in a business that creates and sells those lies for profit. It was very heavy, to tell you the truth.
Isn't it just hilarious how multimillionaire Rosie O'Donnell just loves to try to play the victim, especially, oh my God, I had to move here and I just couldn't stop overeating and over-drinking because of what's going on in America. They voted him in, It's like, dude, the victim mentality, America's over the victims, right? We're done with that crap, that was a very 2020 mentality of being the victim and, people kind of bowed down to that. But now it's like, no, This is Trump's America. We're going back to winning. We want winners. We don't want victims, right? So, like, when Rosie goes out there and plays a victim card when she's a multimillionaire who was able to move to Ireland just because she didn't like what was going on, nobody's buying that crap, and nobody wants to hear that crap. That's the Democrats in a nutshell. They're only the victims now. They nothing else, right? They have nothing real that they stand for, so they have to be the victim. And people, like 80% of Americans are like, nah, we're done with that. We're not going to let people play the victim. We're not like bowing down. We're not, it's just, we're over that crap. We want winners. We're done with the DEI, like promoting people just because they're victims, basically. That's what DEI is. Oh, you've been a victim, so we're going to go ahead and promote you because of it. It's like, we're so over it. We're going back to winning. Trump's doing a ton of winning, and that's it. That's what we want. We want winners. We want people who want to be winners, and we want people who want to be the best. We don't want the Rosie O'Donnells who, want to go out there and tell you how terrible it is for them, even though they're multimillionaires. It's like, get the hell out of here, Rosie. Enjoy Ireland and basically never come back. Hopefully Ireland can handle you, but they got much bigger problems than Rosie right now. But let's get to the next topic here. So the Alligator Alcatraz detention facility in Florida is under construction. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Starting next month, 5,000 migrants will be housed in trailers and heavy-duty tents at this remote, abandoned airfield.
As I call it, Alligator Alcatraz.
In a promotional video set to music, Florida's Attorney General lays out what he considers a deterrent for any potential escapees.
People get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons.
But some local officials warn the environmental impact could be devastating.
We have environmental and physical stewardship and safety concerns.
The Trump administration has said it wants to get up to 100,000 beds at detention centers across the country.
You really got to give Florida credit for just setting the tone of America right now and being America first. I mean, they're really getting it right over there in Florida right now. But it's hilarious in that little piece there how there was the woman who was claiming environmental concerns. There's always going to be some moron claiming environmental concerns, so we just should never do anything, right? You never build anything ever again because there's some sort of gnat that's going to be wiped out due to the fact that you're building this building, right? And they're just doing it on an old airfield, which there's nothing around. It's just like Everglades. And that's why they're doing it, because when you do it there, you're not going to screw up any sort of environmental crap. It's like, what is there out there to ruin? The alligators, they can coexist with anything. They've been living for thousands and thousands of years, right? I mean, alligators, people just got to realize that the whole environmental angle and that argument is basically non-existent anymore. There's some situations where, if you introduce something to an ecosystem, you're really going to screw it up. But in this case, where you're just building a detention center on an old airstrip, no, not going to happen. Not going to happen. So just always know, when there's somebody claiming environmental crap, just dismiss them immediately, and props to Florida for, setting the way. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So the stock market is approaching record highs under Trump. CNN basically had to admit it, and it had to admit he's killing it. Go ahead, roll the clip.
We're just minutes away from the closing bell on Wall Street, and the S&P 500 closed yesterday on the cusp of a record high. Right now, kind of flatlining, down just a teensy-weensy bit. CNN's Vanessa Yurkevich joins us now with more. Vanessa, this is really impressive given where the market was not that long ago.
Yeah, really a remarkable story on Wall Street. We've been watching the S&P very closely all day as it has been flirting with a new record, the last one set back in February. But it is remarkable because at the low of the S&P, it had shed $9.8 trillion in April, almost entering bear market territory. And it's nearly now recovered all of its losses. And just look at the markets. You see the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ on your screen. That dramatic V-shaped drop and then recovery. I was was talking to Chief Investment Strategist Sam Stovall of CFRA, who told me that usually it takes about 4 months for markets to enter the low and then another 4 months for a recovery to get back to even. That happened in half the time. So it really is remarkable.
Chalk up another huge win for Trump. I mean, are you Trump voters getting tired of all this winning yet? It's honestly hard to keep track of all the winning because it seems like every day there's just another huge win. Over the last 6 months, it's been a wild ride. I mean, what an incredible ride. But, you know, it's just the people that didn't stay the course, you know, the people that sold all their stocks or thought we were going into a recession and the stock market's crashing during the whole tariff thing, during the dip. It's like, just let the guy cook, folks. He knows what he's doing. This is what we voted for. We voted him in to do everything he's doing, and it's working, right? He's getting nothing but wins, and it's just like, what has the guy had an L on? Has he had any L's? Don't give me the whole district judges, you know, blocking his crap, because that's not an L. That's just weird, corrupt judges trying to, like, run the country. But yeah, the guy has done nothing but winning. And people that, like, jumped off the bandwagon when the tariffs looked like, oh my God, the tariffs might crash. No, see, those aren't foxhole people, right? You don't want those in your foxhole. They're totally weak-minded people. Right when it looks like anything might go wrong, they just jump off the bandwagon. You know, it's like, those people are pathetic, right? Like, those are the worst of the worst because all they do is they panic and they create fear. The panicans, right? Trump called that out, the panicans. Don't be a panican. And it's like, real men who are strong and, like, you know, strong-minded mentally and just aren't that type of person who just panics under every little thing. Yeah, those are the people who need to set the narrative and just set the tone of, no, we're staying the course. We're not going to panic due to that guy can't handle just a little bit of dip in the stock market. And now look where we're at, setting new highs and just winning everything Trump's doing, he's winning. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And let me know if you like seeing it too. And let me know if this is exactly what you voted for. Just making America great. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.